Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, Olivia with Olivia's Romantic Home. And in today's video, I cannot wait to share with you 10 DIY dell'utri summer and spring wreaths. So in today's video, I'm going to share with you guys some really simple wreaths, and then I'm going to share with you guys some harder wreaths. The first 6 you all have never seen me make and are definitely geared towards summers. And if you guys can see this is like a unicorn, a diamond in the rough. I found tulips at dell'utri. So I made a quick little tulip wreath. I cannot wait to share that with you guys. Perfect for summer, lots of bright colors. So without further ado, grab your tea, grab your coffee, grab your water, soda, whatever you love to drink. Grab a comfy seat, plug in your glue guns, get out your glitter and paint, and let's get to crafting.
For the first dell'utri DIY, you're going to need one of their wired 14-inch wreath forms, some wire cutters, and then some dell'utri floral wire. And then I just picked up 15 bundles of the dell'utri tulips. I was really excited to find these in our store. I've been looking high and low, and they were actually scattered around, so keep checking back if you guys want to try to find these tulips. I also know that Michael's and Hobby Lobby usually carry some tulips as well. So I am just taking the tulip stems and I'm just going to poke them into the wire wreath form. I kind of went on the inside of the base, as you can see, and then I did cut some pieces of the wire, floral wire, and I just went ahead and wired these little stems on. I wanted it to be a little bit more secure. I don't think that this step is totally necessary, but again, if I decide to hang this outside, I want it to last fairly well. So just continue to add your tulips. This wreath was so easy. You basically just take the bundles and you poke them into the wire wreath form, and then you can kind of move the little stems around, as you can see, and also just secure your tulips wherever you feel like it's necessary if they seem to be floppy. But do try to push the stems up and through the wire wreath form, and then add your little wire. And there you have it. You just keep going, and you wouldn't even have to cover this whole wreath. If you couldn't find all of these tulips, you could do half of it and then maybe wrap the other half with some ribbon and add a bow. That was actually my plan until I searched high and low and was able to find several different bundles of these tulips. And I did just alternate the purple and the pink. I felt like it came out so festive and absolutely gorgeous. I'm gonna hang it from my cabinet, which I did tease you guys that I had moved this cabinet from my dining room over to my couch area to give me a little bit better of a workspace, and I will be revealing that in my next video, what I'm gonna do with that space.
I also want to share with you all a wreath that I made out of the coffee filter flowers that I shared with you guys a whole video on how to make these. And also,
for the next dell'utri DIY wreath, we're going to create a really beautiful Marie Antoinette wreath with some coffee filter roses. So just take one of those dell'utri bamboo wreaths, and I took some of my coffee filter roses and wired them on to this coat hanger, but you could also hot glue them, and here's how you make those roses. Started, you're going to need some coffee filters, pipe cleaners, a pair of scissors, some hot glue sticks, and a hot glue gun. And we're going to start out by making our white rose first. The first thing I'd like to do is separate out my coffee filters, and to make a big full fluffy rose, you'll want to use 9 coffee filters total. So you're going to take your coffee filter and you're going to fold it in half. And then once you fold it in half, you're going to fold it again. And then you want to fold it again. And for this process, you're going to do 7 of the coffee filters this way. So I'm just going to show you up close. You're going to take your coffee filter and you're going to fold it in half. This is the first fold. And then the second fold, you're just going to fold it again. And then you're going to fold it again. And you're going to do 7 of them this way. So now you have it 7 folded here, and then for the last 2, you're going to fold it in half. You're going to fold it again, and fold it again, and then fold it one more time. So you're going to have 2 coffee filters that are folded in this fashion, and this is going to make up the center part of your rose. So you're going to fold it in half, fold it again, and then fold it one more time. So it's going to be just a little bit smaller of a fold than your other 7. And then you're going to take and you're going to make your petals. So you just want to take and you want to cut a little half oval in the top of your coffee filter. This is super easy. Don't be particular about this, you guys. A rose is going to be very variegated in your garden, and so don't worry about being particular about this. Now you can use your first cut if you want to use as a guide for yours. But you guys know me, I kind of like to freehand things, so I just kind of cut my petals. So you're going to take and you're going to cut all 7 of your petals in this style. And then you're going to unfold it and you're going to cut it down through the center. So it's going to form the shape of a heart. For your last 2, you're also going to cut a petal in the top of those, and then when you unfold this one, it's going to be a little bit larger than a heart, but you're going to cut down the center again, and that will give you your last 2 petals. Then you're going to take your little pipe cleaner and bend it into a hook, and then you're going to take your inner petals and you're just going to fold them twice, about a 1/2 inch fold, and you fold in an upwards direction, and it should look like this. I like to think of my inner petals of looking like one of those handmade turkey things that the kids used to do for Thanksgiving. So anyway, then you're going to poke a little hole in your petals to run your pipe cleaner through. You guys could also use floral wire on this part or a shish kebab stick, whatever floats your boat and whatever you have on hand. And then I'm going to add some hot glue to my pipe cleaner to secure the inner part of my rose. So I'm just adding that hot glue on. Now be careful when you start with the gluing. I did burn myself just a little bit, not too bad, but I do use a low temp glue gun. And now you're just going to take and begin to form your petal. So you're just going to wrap it into kind of like a little burrito, and you're going to fold it all in one direction and just continue to roll it up. And then that's going to make the center part of your rose. Easy peasy. So go ahead and glue that spot right there. And you're just going to kind of give it a little bit more of a twist, and you guys can get creative with this. So the next thing you want to do is we're going to make the second part of our center petal, and so you'll just fold it again, and then you can kind of give it a little bit of an accordion style if you want to give it some pizzazz. And then you're just going to take that and you're going to hot glue on the bottom part where it's going to attach to the pipe cleaner, and then you're just going to attach that to the pipe cleaner and roll that around. So basically you're just going to be doing a lot of rolling of these little petals. So you're going to take the center part and you're going to hot glue the bottom part and then just begin to kind of wrap it around. Again, be careful when you're using your glue. Use a low temp glue gun because it does get a little bit tricky with all the rolling, and you guys could probably use a tacky craft glue, but I like the instant result, so I go for hot glue. Now for the larger petals, you're just going to fold it one time and you're going to add glue to, again, the bottom part of the petal. Here's a little bit of a close-up, so hopefully you guys can see a little bit better. And then you're just going to wrap that around the base of your rose. And you're going to continue this process with all 7 of your petals. And for mine, I did kind of give them a little bit of a fluffing as I went along, or you can wait till the very end and fluff them out if you like. And so I'm just going to continue to fold the little heart-shaped piece and then glue it on. And you're just going to continue to do this until you've used up all your little heart-shaped pieces. And you guys can make this as full or as small as you want. On some of my roses, I used 11 coffee filters, and on some of them, I only used about 7 to 8. So here is a close-up with the 9 of the coffee filters that we used, that we cut and then folded and then glued on. And you can take your fingers and kind of bend the petals out to kind of smooth. So I will link a tutorial on how I made these roses down below. it's a little bit more in depth, and also how you can color them and make the leaves. So I spent all day one day making these roses, and I thought I was going to make a garland, but then I changed my mind and decided to make a wreath with these. And so I'm just going ahead and taking these roses, and I'm using 2 pipe cleaners, and I'm just going to pipe cleaner these on. Again, you guys could just directly hot glue your roses to your willow wreath form if you want. I do kind of like this option though of being able to remove it and reuse it somewhere else if I want to. But again, do whatever is best for you guys, and be patient with yourself on this craft as well. Now, if you don't want to make the roses, you can also make a really kind of more simple little rose, and I'll share with you guys real quick how to do that. So you'll just take your coffee filter and you pinch it between your fingers, and you just kind of like twirl it around, and that will make just a really easy little flower, and you can just glue straight onto your wreath and up underneath any other flowers you have. I kind of use that to really fill in some of the empty spaces. And then here it is. I think it's gorgeous. Actually the perfect place that I have for it is going to be in my bathroom, but the lighting was a little bit better in my kitchen. So I love how these roses come out. And if you guys just bought a packet of coffee filters and a wreath form base and tied a little bow to the top, you guys could have a really gorgeous wreath for almost nothing. These would be beautiful for a bridal shower as well.
Another thing I want to share with you all is this really gorgeous little Oh Sweet summer wreath. How fun and fabulous for summer. So Dollar Tree carries the most amazing signs, but sometimes it's hard to know what to do with your Dollar Tree sign.
For this wreath, you'll need a cute summer sign, some wired ribbon from Dollar Tree, and a burlap wreath base. And here's how you make that burlap wreath base. So I'm taking some burlap, and actually I got this burlap from burlapfabric.com. I do have a $5 off coupon, but I'm taking this little pipe cleaner and then one of those Dollar Tree 12-inch wreath bases, and I'm just going to wire the pipe cleaner on. Now this is the ruffle method. If you guys need more help, this is the ruffle method for a burlap wreath. So you're just going to wire your burlap on, and this is really easy. Trust me, if I can do it, you guys can do it. So you're just going to pull your first loop of burlap through, and then you're going to pull your second loop of burlap through, and then your third loop of burlap through. So you can see on the wire wreath form there's 3 layers there, so you just pull it through each layer, and then you're going to take and you're going to kind of squish it down. So you just kind of push it down with your fingers, and then you're going to take it in the back and you're just going to twist that 3 times. So while you're holding your little loop at the top, you're going to twist in the back, and then you're going to bring it back up through the bottom, and you're going to start your next row of little puffs here. So you're going to pull it through again, and then you're going to pull it through again on the next rung. And my burlap was kind of a thick size. I'll link the dimensions down below for you guys, but you're going to go ahead and pull it through, but just make sure it doesn't get twisted. My fingers were having a bit of a time with it, so you have to kind of unroll it as you go. That was probably the most trickiest part for me, was that it kept getting twisted. So anyway, you're going to go ahead and squish it down again, and then hold on to it there at the top, and you're going to twist it 3 times in the back, and that'll keep it from unfurling on you or undoing. And then you're going to push it through again the bottom, and you just work your way up each time until you get to the top, and you just continue to repeat this process over and over again until you get all the way around the wreath. Now a little tip is the first one of these I did, the loops were a little bit large, and I did these loops a little bit smaller this time, and I feel like I got better results and I didn't use as much burlap. So just continue to work that burlap magic and pull those little loops through 3 times, twist in the back, and then go back down and start the process back over again. Once I got to the end of my wreath, I just used a piece of pipe cleaner and I just pipe cleanered that little end piece on. And also I wanted to let you all know that Walmart and the craft stores also sell these large, big, long spools of burlap that you guys can make these wreaths with. I think Walmart's is about $4 or $5, and I'm not sure about the craft stores, but I will leave that coupon code for the burlapfabric.com down below if you guys want to check any of their burlap stuff out. So now that we have our wreath base made, we're going to go ahead and add some pipe cleaners to the back of our sign, and that will give us somewhere for our sign to hang onto on our wreath. And then I'm just using this scrap piece of fabric, and I'm going to hot glue on top of the pipe cleaner and press that down really well. This is really a great way to add signs to really any wreath, and then you won't be able to see how you've added the signs to the wreath. So then you're just going to take and you're going to pipe cleaner your cute little summer sign on. I love this one. So you're just going to twist the pipe cleaners together onto the back wire part of your wreath. Now comes my favorite part, are the bows. I made this bow. This is actually the Terry bow by Terry from Mill and Dill Designs. And I made it with my Pro Bow the hand bow maker, but you could also use the Olivia bow, which I've showed you guys before. So you'll just take your wired ribbon and you're going to take it and you're going to fold it over on itself. I do like to dovetail my ends just to give it a little bit more of a boutique finish. And so go ahead and loop your ribbon over on itself. And I'm going to do that 2 times. You can even do it 3 times if you want a fluffier ribbon. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And that was the end of that ribbon. And then I'm just going to fold it in half. And then you want to take where you fold it in half and just notch it a tiny bit in the center. Just a tiny bit, you guys, because if you go in too far with your notching, the bow will fall apart. But the notches do help you fluff the bow out. So then I'm taking a pipe cleaner and I'm just going to twist that part on, and then I'm going to go ahead and dovetail the end again, and then I'm going to fluff that part out. And then if you want to add more layers to your bows, which of course I do, I have to go super extra and get crazy. I went ahead and used some more dell'utri ribbon, and this is just the burlap ribbon, and it has a little bit of lace, which I love, and I'm just going to wire that on to the next part of the bow. So again, you guys can just add as many layers as you love. You can get really crazy with this like I do, or you can just go totally simple and just do 1 layer. So it's completely up to you, but I do recommend to give your bow a really good fluffing. So again, I'm going to add more ribbon with these polka dots. I just think they're so adorable and festive and totally fun for summer. Again, you just fold the ribbon over on itself and then notch it right there in the center, and then you just tie it on to the other parts of the ribbon. I love layering bows, you guys. Comment and let me know if you're bow crazy as well. So now I'm just adding this second bow on to the base of my wreath, and I'm giving it a good fluffing. I really loved how this came out. I love the dell'utri Oh Sweet Summer lemonade signs. Again, this is such a fun way to use your dell'utri sign, and very festive, and it actually went in my kitchen. I do have a lemon theme going on, so I thought this would be super sweet with the lemon theme with a little lemonade jar.
We're also going to do a really sweet, fun, and simple little lemon wreath. You guys, this is so super easy. I actually made this out of a coat hanger. It's not the most sturdy wreath. I wouldn't put it out on my front porch in a hurricane, but I will tell you it's absolutely adorable, and I have the perfect spot in my kitchen for it.
So for the next dell'utri DIY wreath, I'm just taking a clothes hanger that I had left over. I actually didn't have any more wreath bases at this point, so I thought, why not try and use a coat hanger? And so you'll just take the coat hanger apart and then do your best to try to make it into somewhat of a circle. Now I'm just taking some of that dell'utri garland and I'm going to wrap it around the coat hanger. I did end up securing it with some dell'utri floral wire as well. Now this wreath is not going to be the sturdiest of wreaths. I'm going to forewarn you guys right now. I think it would actually make better kind of like a candle garland, but it does work really nicely in a small space. And so now I'm just adding some of that wire just to really kind of secure onto here. And then I wanted to really jazz this up and use this for my kitchen, and so I decided to take some of those Dollar Tree lemons, add a dab of hot glue, and hot glue some of the cute little Dollar Tree lemons to the wreath. Now I know Walmart has the lemons, and I've heard that they're a little bit smaller, and that actually might work better on a small project like this. But here it is with the adorable little Dollar Tree polka dot Olivia bow. It looks perfect right here on my little chalkboard and ready to roll. Oh, sweet summer, here we come.
And then another fun wreath that I want to share with you all is this really cute little farmhouse wreath. Now this is all repurposed fabric. I made a 4th of July bunting and I used a bunch of this fabric, but I had a lot of fabric scraps left over. So you guys can make a fabric scrap wreath. I also used one of these Dollar Tree pictures. You guys tell me all the time, sorry, my hair, oh my goodness. So you guys tell me all the time that you love to shop for these Dollar Tree pictures, but if you're like me, you'll find a super cute picture and then you won't know what to do with it. So I thought, why not? Let's make this cute little Dollar Tree Market fresh produce into an adorable wreath, of course with a cute little sparkling Dollar Tree bow. So I've also
Now for the next Dollar Tree DIY wreath, we are going to create a really beautiful little farmhouse wreath. So I'm just going to take one of those Dollar Tree Farmhouse Fresh Farmers Market signs, but really you guys could use any sign that you love that you have from the Dollar Tree. They have so many fun signs out right now for you guys to choose from. Again, this is the same technique I used with the mason jar sign. I'm just hot gluing these little pipe cleaners to the back, and then I'm adding that little piece of fabric over it, and that will give your sign something to hang onto with your wreath. And so for this wreath, I wanted to do kind of a really fun, just little farmhouse style wreath. I also had fabric left over, like I said, from making my 4th of July bunting, and so I just cut it up into little strips. These were about 6-inch strips. I wanted it to be very kind of rustic, farmhouse shabby, and so I didn't worry about the ends being finished, and I'm just tying them onto the wreath. And then I realized I really didn't have as much stripe fabric as I needed, and so I ended up having to cut some strips of lace, also left over from my outdoor bunting project. I'll link that below if you guys want some fun patriotic ideas, but any hoosey doozy. So now I'm just tying some of this little lace on, and I love to pick up scrap fabric lace of tablecloths at the thrift store. It is the best thing in the world. Look for fabric lace tablecloths or old fabric lace drapes. So anyway, I'm going to take this cute little bow that I had left over from another project, and I'm going to add it to the top. And of course, you guys know me, I got bow happy. And so I added a bow to this side and then another bow over there because I really love my wreaths really full. Now this is just a basic rag garland wreath, so you guys could just go crazy with whatever fabric that you have, but I think it turned out absolutely adorable and oh so shabby farmhouse.
Another fun way to make a wreath is with a picture frame. So I wanted to create this really spectacular star-spangled Dollar Tree picture frame wreath. I have the perfect spot on it for my front porch. If you guys need some patriotic 4th of July inspiration, I just uploaded a new video on the 4th of July.
Now for the next Dollar Tree DIY wreath, we're going to make a picture frame wreath. So I've really wanted to try something like this for some time. I'm just going to take a Dollar Tree picture frame, and then I had this America sign left over from my Americana patriotic haul, and I've really been trying to use all my Dollar Tree signs because I really love picking them up, but sometimes don't end up using them. Comment and let me know if y'all have that going on. Anyway, I'm just adding some bows to the top and the side, and these little stars also came in the Dollar Tree patriotic patriotic section. It came in like a hanging of 3, and I just cut them apart to get more use out of them. And I didn't want to leave any scraps behind, so this little piece of burlap that was attaching the stars, of course I had to use and make a bow up here at the top. And then I was searching for more bow making material, and I ended up finding some of that Dollar Tree twine, and I think this came out adorable, you guys. Perfect for my patriotic theme I'm going to be having going on outside. Now it's time for a recap of some of the other wreaths I have shared with you all, starting with the coastal. Now for the next Dollar Tree DIY, you're going to need one of those willow Dollar Tree wreaths and 2 loops of nautical rope. So I just hot glued the first piece of nautical rope, and then I'm going to hot glue again. So basically I'm just finding little spaces in the willow wreath to kind of hot glue. I really wanted this to be just a little bit sporadic, so as I worked, I just kind of found different spots in the willow wreath and then added a little bit of hot glue and another piece of nautical rope. So just continue to glue your nautical rope in and around your wreath. Again, I wanted it to look very relaxed. Beach vibes, beach decor is very casual, very relaxed. So I tried to kind of do it in a little bit of a loopy style, just kind of, you know, just gathering it and winding it around and hot gluing it and then gathering it some more. So this project was really inexpensive. Then you can go ahead and glue starfish or seashells. I had found a little thing of seashells for 50 cents at the thrift store, but Dollar Tree also carries seashells. So you're just going to hot glue your seashells on. The nautical rope was helpful because it gave my seashells kind of something to adhere to. So, and there you have it. You have a really beautiful beachy wreath. Of course, I did have to go in and add a bow. You guys know me. I love my bows, but just continue to glue those pretty beachy themed items onto your wreath, and you're having a very cute, very relaxed, and oh so natural beachy wreath. As promised, I could not resist adding a bow. I'm just going in with some of that Dollar Tree wired burlap ribbon, and I'm looping it up around the top. And I want to make this one a little bit longer. I'm just going to cut it off and then hot glue those 2 pieces together. And of course, you guys know I had to go a little bit extra. I could not resist. I tied a shoelace bow, which is just a very simple, very easy bow. And then I am dovetailing those ends to give it that boutique gorgeous finish. And then I'm just going to hot glue that to the top of my little hanger. Again, I saw a wreath similar to this on the Pottery Barn website. It was about $89. Of course, it did have quite a few more seashells, but I'm just using what I have for this project. I think it would be beautiful to add some starfish or more seashells, or as I said before, you can leave it very relaxed and very simple. And I think it's looking so cute and so perfect, and with this darling little beachy theme, it makes me so ready to go on vacation. I need to go tomorrow. For this DIY, I cannot wait to share with you this beautiful Dollar Tree rustic garden spring French farmhouse style wreath, inspired by the last round of DIYs that we did, with a very garden spring French farmhouse flair. So let's get to this. I cannot wait to share this with you guys. For this Dollar Tree DIY, we're going to create a really beautiful French farmhouse style wreath. So I'm taking a wire wreath form from Dollar Tree, and then I'm taking some evergreen garland. This is inexpensive garland I had left over from Christmas, and I'm just taking the evergreen branches and looping them in and around the edges of the wire garland. I used 2 pieces of garland to create this base. You could also use a grapevine vase, or really whatever kind of base you have on hand would work. And then now that I have my garland created, I want to make an Olivia bow. So I'm using this wired black and burlap striped ribbon that I found at Walmart. It was $5 for the roll, but it was definitely worth the splurge for this because I knew I wanted to tie in a blessed sign DIY that I made. So you're just going to take the ribbon and loop it over on itself 3 times, and then you're going to cut 2 little notches in the center. I do have some Olivia Bow wreath tutorials that I will link down below. So just cut 2 tiny notches in either side of your ribbon, and be careful, don't cut too far because you don't want the bow to fall apart. And then take a pipe cleaner and you're just going to twist the pipe cleaner on and then pull your loops out. You can also dovetail your ends by cutting upwards in a triangle direction. I guess that makes sense. I don't know. Just make the end of your bow look pretty. Okay, so now that we've got our bow ready to roll, we're going to do a bit of fluffing here. So you're just going to take the ribbon to make that dovetail in and crease it and then cut upwards. Be careful when you're cutting upward. I also decided to add in a little bit of burlap to the back of this bow just to give it some dimension and texture. This was just some burlap that I had left over from another project. I believe I got it at Walmart, but Dollar Tree also carries burlap ribbon. Okay, so now we're going to take a longer piece of burlap ribbon and I'm just going to loop it in and around the entire wreath. So just use those evergreen branches to kind of twist tie your burlap on. There's no real rhyme or reason, you just want to add some of that in. Then I'm going to take this piece of Dollar Tree greenery and take the evergreen and just kind of loop it around the base of this wreath. I want it to kind of stick out at the bottom. I want this wreath to look very French farmhouse, blooming woodland rustic theme. So I want to use a lot of greenery and neutral burlaps. Now I'm just twist tying my bow on and then I'm going to give it a bit of a fluffing. That's really the secret to a bow, is just continue to give it a nice good fluffing. Once I had my greenery on, I decided to add in one of those Dollar Tree grapevine wreath bases. This is optional, but I did want to give it that rustic woodland theme, so I'm just taking the little green evergreens and twist tying them on. So I did that in 3 different places, and then I took the little greenery piece and I looped it in and over the wreath, kind of to give it some more stability and also some dimension on this other side. So all of the greenery that I'm using, everything that I'm using in this wreath is from Dollar Tree except for the ribbon for the bow. And I believe that burlap also came from Walmart from last year, the year before last, but again, Dollar Tree also carries burlap. So I'm just taking some of that Dollar Tree onion grass. I poked a big grouping of onion grass up at the top and down below and then off to the side. And then you will see me kind of take it apart just a little bit and hot glue it in just to give it that extra bit of stability. I'm also using this piece of burlap to kind of go in and around the back of the wreath. I wanted to fill the wreath out. I really love to go really over the top with my creations, and so anyway, but yeah, so now I'm just adding in some greenery and you guys can see me dancing around. So I decided to have a just full out wreath crafting day. I was blasting Mumford & Sons. I love their music. I really was doing a jig throughout this whole video. So you guys, this is your laugh for the day. Super awkward mom dancing. There you go. So anyway, I'm just continuing to add in some of the Dollar Tree onion grass and some little pieces of greenery. I just took some wire cutters and cut these pieces down, and now I have in some little white bits and pieces that I wanted to add in. This is just more Dollar Tree florals. They carry some of those little white florals, and then I'm also adding in some white lilacs. These are so pretty. I used them in my centerpiece for my last DIY. If you guys need some spring inspiration, I've been doing a ton of spring and Easter DIYs. So I'm just hot gluing the ends of these and then putting them into the wreath. Now, to give this wreath a little bit of a wow factor, I'm taking some of those dell'utri clay pots and adding a twist tie into the center and just twist tying it at the base and then leaving a little spot that I can twist tie it onto the wreath. Now, this definitely took some maneuvering. I just twist tied it into the wire base part of the wreath. Make sure you get it twist tied in really good because you don't want these flopping out. So I did have to really get in there and twist tie it a bunch, and then I'm adding tons and tons of hot glue to the base of those little pots. And now I just added some hot glue to the center, and I'm adding in some beautiful Dollar Tree moss, again to give it that really pretty rustic woodland kind of Frenchy springtime really feel. Now I'm just adding in another layer of bows to the base of this wreath. I just decided on this part to use some of that jute twine. That way you couldn't see any funky colors. So I just tied that on to the base of the wreath. And now you're going to see me adding in some of those Dollar Tree ferns. I've really been loving these. I think they look pretty realistic and they're inexpensive. They come 5 or 6 on a bundle. And then I decided to clip off some fake lavender. Yeah, this was from the lavender bundle that I used in another DIY. So I just clipped off a couple of little pieces. I did want to give this wreath some sprigs of color. I also added in this super cute little purple bird that I found last season, I believe at TJ Maxx for a couple of dollars. I wanted a smaller, more realistic looking bird, but I didn't have any on hand and I wanted to finish this project. So anywho's, so I'm adding in now a bit of moss to the base of the bird, and now I'm taking some of those really pretty Dollar Tree speckled eggs. I'm adding in some hot glue and just hot gluing them in and around the wreath. And then I just continue to add some more eggs into the center of my bow and some greenery just to kind of fill things out a bit. And I am so over the moon in love with this creation. I have really been wanting to get my hands on some really pretty black and white ribbon. Again, I did that bless sign, and you guys are going to see it as I pan around a little bit later in this video, but here's a beautiful close-up. I am very thrilled with this, super inexpensive, almost all Dollar Tree items, and I think this came out very high-end for a teeny tiny budget. So also I decided to add this cute little gratitude is the best attitude sign, and I also created a little bow up top. I have several bow tutorials on my channel if you guys need help with any bows. So I just wired that sign on with a piece of pipe cleaner, and I think it came out so perfect and so adorable. And the best part about this is because the burlap is neutral, I can change out the signs month by month. So for the next Dollar Tree DIY, I'm going to create a Dollar Tree Deco mesh. I'm going to be using 3 rolls of the red Dollar Tree Deco mesh and 3 rolls of the white Dollar Tree Deco mesh, and then a roll of burlap fabric, and it is from burlapfabric.com. I will leave a coupon code below and a link if you all are interested, and Walmart also sells burlap fabric. So I'm just cutting all of these pieces of mesh and fabric. They're about 10 to 12 inches. I'm just kind of eyeballing it because I'm not super precise on my measurements, but if you all wanted to, you could measure each piece. Now I'm taking and I'm gathering it up and creating this little ruffle in my hand. And I'm starting with the red, and then I gather the white, and you could also use a chip clip if you need help holding these 2 pieces together while you gather your last piece. Now I'm just gathering the burlap fabric. So to gather, you just kind of ruffle it up between your fingers. It doesn't have to be perfect. And once I have them all gathered together, I'm just putting them all in one piece, and then I'm taking a pipe cleaner and I want to wrap the pipe cleaner around the entire bundle, and then I'm going to twist the bundle in the back a couple of times. Try to get it as tight as you can. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect, and then you can also kind of fan it out just a bit if you like. Now I am going to take this bundle and I'm going to go to the center part of my wreath, and I'm going to just pipe cleaner this on. So you just take your pipe cleaner and you wire it on to the center part of that first rung. And for this wreath, I just use all of the center of the entire wreath. So I made 4 bundles for each section of the wreath. So this is sectioned off, I believe, into about 5 or 6 sections. And so you just continue to make your bundles. So you want to ruffle those pieces together. Again, I'm using red, white, and burlap, and I did alternate. A couple of them were just all white, or a couple of them were all red. It's good also to make your bundles in advance. That'll kind of help speed up the process. Maybe put on a TV show, because it does take a bit of time to make the bundles. So I'm just continuing to make more bundles, and then I'm just tying them on with my pipe cleaner. And again, you guys, this does not have to be perfect. Deco mesh was always really scary for me, but the more I've tried it, the easier it's really gotten. This is a really fun and easy one. Also, if you can't find Deco mesh at Dollar Tree, Walmart carries Deco mesh as well as the craft stores. So you're just going to continue to add more and more bundles. And then I'm taking these patriotic bows. I also found these. They were 2 to a pack at Dollar Tree, and I'm wiring them on to the center part of the mesh with a pipe cleaner. So for this project, I used 3 rolls of red Dollar Tree mesh, 3 rolls of white Dollar Tree mesh. They're both 6.5 inches wide and 5 yards long. And then I used 1 roll of the burlap ribbon, and it was 6.5 inches wide and 10 yards long. For the next Dollar Tree DIY, we're going to create a terry bow using the Pro Bow the hand. So you're just going to take your wired ribbon and you're going to add a piece of wire to the base of your ribbon and tie it around your first loop here, and then tie it around this peg. Now this is the terry bow. If you go to Pro Bow the hand YouTube channel, or just type in terry bow, you'll find some really great detailed instructions. But you want to just take your ribbon and loop it up around that first peg. Now the pegs are what the Pro Bow the hand calls your fingers. So I did order this bow maker a couple of years ago. It's really great for me to use if I'm having problems with my hands, which I tend to have sometimes. I'm not able to hold and make the really larger bows, so this one is great. So you can see I'm just adding in that first piece of wire, and you're going to use the same piece of wire to continue to add each ribbon. And with the terry bow, you can add 5 to 6 ribbons. I believe this is very similar to the funky bow. So after you add your first 2 loops, you're just going to dovetail your ends, and then you can add in your second ribbon. So you can see I'm just adding in this second ribbon. I'm using that same piece of wire. I just twist mine on, and then I loop it around the top part of the bow maker. And again, those little pegs are what they call the fingers. And so you just tie it on again with some more wire. You loop it up again and down, and then you tie it on again with some more wire. And the goal is to kind of keep your base wire, that base bottom peg, if this is making sense, is what holds the entire bow. And you're just going to continue on with that process. Again, I'll link all my bow tutorials down below if you guys need an easier bow or a more detailed instruction. But once you have your terry bow all finished up, or whatever bow you choose, you can give it a really, really good fluffing. And this is the secret to my bows, is lots and lots of fluffing. So I'm continuing to fluff this bow, and then I couldn't resist and adding another bow. Dollar Tree makes these great burlap already pre-made bows. If you guys don't want to try to make a bow, just add one of those bows. They're super easy, super simple, and they're only $1. Now I'm adding in some of that Dollar Tree raffia just to give this some texture and to give it a little bit more of a rustic chic look. I did add another patriotic bow off to the left, and then I'm using some of those Dollar Tree, I believe these are spider plants, and I just clipped off a couple of the little spider plants. I did have a bundle of tulips. I added a couple of tulips, and then I loved this. This was one of those Dollar Tree plant stakes, and I just took it off the plant stake and added the little In God We Trust heart. I just hot glued that onto the wreath and then added just a couple of more florals in and around there. And that deco mesh really saves the day with an outdoor wreath that you want to last for a month or so. You don't have to spend much on it, and it really looks really high-end and chic without breaking the bank. So I'm loving this. I thought it came out super festive.
So thank you so much for joining me on another DIY Dollar Tree adventure. I love to craft and decorate, clean, and sometimes cook. So if you guys are new, I would love to have you subscribe and be part of my YouTube family. You guys are definitely the bomb.com. I have the best subscribers in the world, and I thank you truly for all the love you share with me. I hope to pour back into you as well. So if you guys are new, go ahead and subscribe. Click the little bell. It will notify you every time I upload a new video. I want to tell you guys it is summer. My teenagers are officially out of school. I was actually late getting started on my wreath video because I was making homemade pancakes from scratch for my teenage boys by request. I mean, if your teenagers want to hang out with you and ask you to make food, you're gonna go for it. Also, I want to give a shout out to Teeny Blends. They sent me this amazing detox tea. I actually added just a touch of honey and some apple cider vinegar. I'm really trying to behave. I still ate chips today, but hopefully my detox tea will help me out. So I'm also trying to do a little bit of exercise, and I'm thinking about doing a kindness challenge. So let me know if that's something you guys would be interested in. I have so many more fun ideas for you guys. I cannot wait to share with you guys. I'll check you in the next video. I love you, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.